Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm back. What happened to Angry Bird? Legit, that used to be the most popular game on mobile since I was a kid. Like, I remember I used my mom's phone, and wherever we went to, like, doctor's appointments or whatever, I always had that joint. I made sure I always installed it on her phone. Sometimes my mom would change phones rapidly, but, like, I always make sure that that's, like, the number one game I install is Angry Bird.
Back in 2011, Angry Birds was everywhere. They had multiple different games, toys, and
Didn't they even make a
movies,
movie? They made
generating
a movie on
hundreds
this,
of
yeah.
millions of dollars. But by 2019,
But
they were firing masses of staff, and since then things have only gotten worse.
they were laying
Perhaps
people
it's
off.
just karma for stealing the initial idea. Angry Birds wasn't an original concept.
Hmm.
In April 2009, a game was released named Crush the Castle, which required players to fire a trebuchet into wooden structure hiding medieval people. Well, 8 months later, in December 2009, game developer Rovio made an app named Angry Birds, which, while clearly being a rip-off, was better in every way. It had cooler, cleaner animated graphics.
But yo, imagine that. Imagine a ripoff being better than your original idea, your original product. Like that's honestly sad, bro. Like Angry Bird is a ripoff, yet it's like made way more bag and money off that joint. Like damn. They always release like a different version. I remember there was the space version Angry Bird, like the Angry Bird is space. Hold on, let me look this up for y'all.
From being trolled into
Angry Angry Bird space. I think it was this one. This is the little Angry Bird I remember playing, and they had like the different planets and different maps, bro. This Angry Bird was goated, bro. Angry Bird Space. They also made a Star Wars one. I don't really get into the Star Wars one because I was always on the space one.
And different stages, each with different levels. You got points for every enemy killed, and points for every bird you didn't use, giving players the chance to compete for high scores. Throw in 5 different birds with 5 different abilities, as well as a cool catchy soundtrack, and it's easy to see that Angry Birds was better. They'd developed 51 games prior to Angry Birds, none of which saw even the smallest bit of success. Therefore, when Angry Birds took only 2 months to become the #1 paid app in 60 countries, they understandably took the chance to milk it. They'd make loads of different varieties like Angry Birds Seasons, Angry Birds Space, and Angry Birds Star
Angry Birds
Wars,
Space was
helping
goated.
it become the #1 paid app in
That was
Apple's
my
App
shit back in the
Store
day.
with 6 to 7 million paid downloads. By the end of Angry Birds' first year, they'd made $10 million US, but players still demanded more. We have so many fans who have asked for the plush toys, so these are going to be available in a couple of weeks, and we're really trying to build Angry Birds into this entertainment franchise. It took only 4 months before that announced 60,000 Angry Birds soft toys have been sold, as the game itself became the best-selling paid app of all time. Within Angry
Is
Birds
this still the best
itself, they'd
of all
implement
time?
microtransactions like Mighty Eagle, which allowed players to pay to clear entire levels. With
Wait,
celebs
what?
like just Mighty Eagle,
The Mighty Eagle. This is a Mighty Eagle destruction classes, total destructions, and earn feathers. Bro, so you really the whole point of it is to like accomplish it on your own. You're legit paying just to complete a level? Like what?
which allowed players to pay to clear entire levels. With celebs like Justin Bieber even advocating for it, Angry Birds made 100 million in 2011.
How much is this? I don't how much is this in today's currency? Hold up. 106. 106 million in to wait, 106 million in 2011 and today. 106 million is equivalent to 25 will be given the number one one equivalent to 1 billion. So today that would be worth like 1 billion. Wait, I mean no, not 1 billion, sorry. 149. It's not like crazy numbers. It's not like it's like the 60s or whatever, but so I'll be like 40 million more
11
in
and
today's
went from
currency.
28
I
employees
mean,
in the
today's
beginning
economy, I
of the
guess.
year to 224 employees by the end of
I don't know why I said
2011.
billion.
5 months later, they set a new world record. First mobile game series to reach 1 billion downloads. They'd double their revenue again by the end of 2012, at which point they started to face a serious problem. The game was getting stale. They'd made multiple different Angry Birds versions, but hadn't changed the concept in over 3 years. As a result, in the following year, their profits more than halved, with Angry Birds falling to 59th in the App Store, forcing the franchise to try a new format. They'd release Angry Birds Go at the end of 2013.
I remember this.
And while this was somewhat of a Mario Kart ripoff, people absolutely loved it.
So, I mean, it's fun. It is good fun. It looks good. It plays well.
Professional reviewers gave it 7.7, while people on Reddit called it their favorite Angry Birds game, and perfection at its finest. Rovio therefore continued to experiment, releasing an RPG game named Angry Birds Epic, which again received incredible reviews, reading, the latest Angry Birds title is a welcome addition to the franchise,
like,
which
it's doing
hasn't
good.
seen much change since its inception.
Like, it's legit doing good. I don't know what the
2009.
followers.
Similarly, users said it might be the best RPG title I've ever played.
And honestly, a pretty solid time. I think the approach they went with here really worked and paid off.
The only problem was, these games didn't sell merch like the original Slingshot format. Therefore, merchandise sales plummeted, while total 2014 revenue dropped, and profits fell 73% to 10 million euros. As a result, media outlets reported Rovio
fall
lays
off
off
on profit.
110
Damn.
people as Angry Birds hype fades, representing 14% of the company's workforce. They try to fix their decline with yet another experiment, Angry Birds Pop, which was pretty unsuccessful. In a Reddit thread asking out of all the Angry Birds games, which one do you think is the worst, Pop was mentioned many times over. Therefore, they'd go back to basics and put out Angry Birds 2, the official sequel.
Okay, the thing is, bro, once you have something and you've like it's already run off, right? Like you know how like Angry Bird came out, right? And they had something good, right, for a while. Then it got old, and then they made these new things. But once those new things weren't working, going back to the old thing doesn't really save your company. Like it doesn't really. It's not the same.
Although many call
And people are calling it a
downgrade
downgrade from the original.
The sequel was filled to the brim with microtransactions, clearly annoying the fanbase who wrote, "This is a very greedy game that keeps sucking money out of you. If you play well, the game becomes harder and harder until it's impossible, and then you either have to replay each level 10 times or buy gems.
You
The
have to
game is just
replay
trying
levels?
to throw you off balance and get under your skin so that you pay more." The official IGN review said the game took significant steps backward for the massively popular series. Angry Birds 2 is missing key parts of what made previous games so universally compelling to gamers both hardcore and casual, young and old.
Bro, I hate games like that. Like there's limits. Like there's some games. There was this one game I really liked where it's like a ball, right? It's like the ball rolls and there's like obstacles and stuff, and there's like it has good beats. It's like kind of like Geometry Dash with like the beats and stuff, but it's not. It's a different concept. I mean, you still have like the game with the amazing beats to each level. Each level has amazing beats like Geometry Dash, but it rolls and stuff. I don't know if y'all seen ads about that, but I have, and I like the game. But the only problem is there's like a limit per day on how much, I guess, life you have, and then after those limits, they make you watch ads or you have to pay for more life. Which I hate games like that, and I had to drop it. But it was unfortunate because it was actually a fun game, and I like the music, like the beats and stuff. Like I really jammed it out.
Still, due to its intense monetization, Angry Birds 2 became their highest earning game. Surprisingly, however, that very same year, they'd announced losses of almost 15 million and would fire a further third of their workforce, this time being over 200 people. This seemed to imply that Angry Birds was dead until they'd make an unexpected comeback. Turns out they'd spent the previous 3 years privately developing the Angry Birds movie. At a cost of 73 million, they'd made
Did this flop?
bet, but with a star-studded cast and a fun little story.
Ooh, wait, hold up. Let's look at it.
But with a star-studded cast.
Damn. 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 really
Last
put
and a fun
everyone in this freaking movie. Damn.
little story, the Angry
It's still going, bro.
Birds movie did surprisingly
They
well.
actually had
It
some
made over
tough ass voice
350
actors.
million
And then,
from its
oh shoot, damn, it made a huge amount of profit for him that was put in. Like, damn.
70 million budget.
You know, the IRS fucking took most of that.
Put Angry Birds back into the public spotlight. People began replaying their previously released games, while Angry Birds theme parks popped up in different countries. Media outlets reported Rovio Games had its best year ever in 2016. However, the gaming releases that Angry Birds was known for was still declining in quality. In his video, I played and ranked every Angry Birds game so you don't have to. Jake Miller talks about Angry Birds Action.
Angry Birds Action was the start of using the new anthropomorphic designs from the movies in their games, which I think most fans agree was the real beginning of the end for the series.
Which happened to be the first game after the movie. Similarly, in the Reddit thread asking about the worst Angry Birds game, one user implied it was most of them after the movie's release. Said games included Angry Birds Fight, aka
Literally,
a Candy Crush ripoff,
yeah, Candy Crush
as well
ripoff.
as Angry Birds Match,
Another
which was
Candy
described as
Crush
extremely
ripoff.
bland. However, thankfully for Rovio, their older titles were still extremely popular, with Angry Birds 2's revenue growing 47% in 2018, despite it being over 3 years old. This gave them the budget to make a second movie. However, their $65 million bet didn't pay off so well this time. Forbes wrote Angry Birds 2 is worse than the original in nearly every way, whilst Rotten Tomatoes critics added, a distressingly ineffective sequel that grows less and less interesting and more tiresome as it unfolds.
People are really
Still,
like
the
shitting on
made
this
a profit
movie.
of 82 million, right as the company was making some weird changes. Despite their older games being low maintenance, Rovio decided to completely stop updating them. Then, without explanation, some of the older beloved titles, including the original Angry Birds, were deleted from the App Store. When people began to talk about what they'd done, people made compilations stating Angry Birds was dead. There were comments like, "Remember when Rovio actually cared?" whilst hashtag BringBack2012 began to trend on Twitter. Things got so bad that Rovio apologized, stating they only did it as maintaining the highest quality of updates and live operations isn't possible with our older games, in response to the backlash that announced they planned on redeveloping Angry Birds Classic, which was re-released on the App Store in 2022, but at a price of $1.99 with no in-game purchases. They'd changed Classic's name to Red's First Flight, making it harder to find in the App Store, thus prompting players to buy
Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Like, what? Just name it Angry Bird. Like, do they lose license to the name? Like,
newer,
what?
more profitable games.
Like, I really want to know what the marketing team were thinking about this. Like, renaming it completely different. Like, just put it Angry Birds.
This successfully fooled some people who struggled to find it on the App Store. However, others knew exactly what Angry Birds was doing. They got rid of the old ones so that you would have no other choice than to play the modern Candy Crush-esque games. They despised the games that made the company and so lost its spirit. Rovio basically confirmed this, openly stating they changed the name due to the game's impact on our wider games portfolio. They further requested that fans continue to bring that passion to our live Angry Birds slingshot games, such as Angry Birds 2, however players weren't too happy. We hope those fans can continue to bring that passion to our other games which have been designed to be more psychologically manipulative and stuffed with more microtransactions. Fixed it for you. The drama was so severe, it seemingly halted any future games, as Angry Birds Classic is still the most recent title, released way back in 2022. In 2023, Rovio was sold to Sega, although this is
Yeah, at that point, you gotta sell the company. Like your company's so bad right now, you have to sell it. And he sold it for a second. He got money, bro. He can Loki just early retirement.
done little to fix their reputation. One recent tweet expressed, "I very much still love Angry Birds. That said, the current state of it is dog shit. My hope for the franchise is at an all-time low right now. I'll just continue to enjoy what I love about it, but it's sad to see what it's become. Despite everything, Angry Birds isn't finished, as they just announced they're making a third movie, although with the rest of the franchise in decline, its performance might be interesting."
Damn, hope you all like and enjoy the video. It's sad to see, bro, like your childhood just like, I mean, I don't know. Eventually things do get old, unless you're Minecraft. I don't think Minecraft will ever die. Like Minecraft is always gonna be popular. That's just like a different like league out of any games that came out in the early 2010s. But yeah, I've got you on the next one. Peace.